What's the best part about being a mom?
Oh, everything. The love, the joy, the purpose.
What's the hardest part about being a mom?
Knowing I won't be here forever, so I won't always be able to take care of them.
And when Dreamboat grows up, she wants to be a mom.
Hello, my beautiful garden. It is Saturday. I had a pretty busy week this week. I didn't record much because I was moving. So let's see, I got 6 teeth pulled this week. I went to orientation for the start of college this fall. And I had some doctor's appointments. And the kids have been home. And I just have not taken a chance to record anything this week. So I was going to do something different, and I think I'm going to read Reddit. I'm going to try and pick something that relates to me. Yeah, and see how that goes. Let's get into it. Okay, so something that I'm sure I will relate to is toxic relationships. So let me put that in and see if I can find something. I wish I knew how to work Reddit. Okay, I think I found one. This one is actually from a deleted profile, and it says, "Can't take his verbal abuse anymore. My female 28 husband, male of 30, not legally married, engaged though, and do have a 2-year-old child together, is a textbook narcissist, I think. Otherwise, I'm not sure what to label his explosive tendencies and entitled attitude as. Oftentimes, any level of disagreement, questioning, criticism, genuine call-out, opposite opinion, suggestion, etc., ends in some verbal berating. Can't tell you how many times I've been through that. In the past. Not now. Now is good. But the past, yes. Many, many times. Where was I? I've been called every name under the sun. The hard pill to swallow is why does he fly off the handle for every little thing. Nothing ever warrants the label of extreme he gets to. He has stopped as low as to say he hates me, which I find unforgivable. The names he calls me and manners which he explodes are honestly unforgivable. But saying you hate the person you're in a relationship with and have a family with is insane to me. He says it all the time now. Today, it's been told 4 times. Yesterday, he hated me twice. Today was about a question at Dunkin' Donuts. Yesterday, it was because I think we should have switched up the beach vacation we were on. Now we are home, and that was a trip from hell. And get our son some time off the beach. Maybe go to an aquarium or something. You know, normal ways a parent and family thinks with a chaotic toddler. He genuinely expresses an attitude of he sees no issue with the way he speaks. It is always warranted in his opinion because I just suck and am a effing beep, apparently. I talk too much. I'm too annoying. I plan too much. Well, I'm sorry, normal couples and families do that. He is so selfish and in his own bubble all the time. It has become honestly unbearable, and having my son now who repeats everything, this has given me so much stress. I have never felt so lonely in my life. Yeah, my son was repeating his father's behavior to his sisters when I was still with their dad. And that wasn't a fun sight to see. I don't think I can live a life like this with someone. It would be one thing if he saw an issue with how he speaks and is apologetic or changes, etc. But he doesn't at all. So I don't know what to do or think. I don't work and have been slowly working part-time again to get some funds. I guess I'm just looking to hear others' thoughts and possible experiences as well, both men and women. I know good men out there exist. I've been so emotionally and verbally beat down, it is hard to imagine what a true connection might be like. I really feel like I'm doing myself a disservice of a rocky life if I continue with this person in my life. I don't think they can operate normally. Well, if you try and leave, he's going to talk you out of it. He might talk you back into it. But if you're really set on leaving, I would save up money, because leaving can be a very difficult, rocky road if you're doing it alone. I was fortunate enough not to do it alone. So, let me find another one. Okay, I found another one. It's actually about mother-in-law. Mother-in-law undermining our parenting. Let's read that one. My in-laws came over to watch my 4-year-old while I went to an appointment, which was wonderful and a big help. When I got home, my father-in-law was asleep. After they left, I asked my son what he and his grandma did while Grandpa was sleeping, because Grandpa is really the only one to play or engage with him. He said nothing. I asked if they watched something or played games, and he wouldn't really answer. My husband got home a bit later. Then he asked our son what he did with his grandparents. This time he said they watched something on Grandma's tablet. I asked if Grandma said not to tell Mommy, and he said yes. I am mad. Not because of the tablet, but because she told him not to tell me. Earlier this week, we were talking about our son having a hard time adjusting to having a new baby brother. I told my in-laws that he's had no TV for almost 2 weeks, and it's made a big difference for him. My mother-in-law scoffed at that and said something about why have such a nice TV then. She knew screen time was something we'd been working on, eliminating for him. The tablet part is not a big deal, though, although it's still undermining our parenting. I get needing to use them from time to time, but the deception part I'm not okay with. When my husband brought it up and asked about if she did say she let him watch one of his favorite shows and told him it's our secret, her response to my husband telling her that we've been teaching him about not keeping secrets, her response was, "My bad." That is no apology or anything. 4 is such an impressionable age, and teaching about not keeping secrets is hard enough without a grandparent interfering. Yeah, my mother-in-law, me and my ex weren't ever married, but I consider her a mother-in-law. She would do things with the kids and that I didn't want happening, and their father was such a mama's boy. He never even really fought her, and it became so exhausting trying to fight her on my own or argue with her on my own. that I eventually gave up. It's frustrating when in-laws don't respect your parenting. And she thought she was doing good for me, because she said my kids were little demons. Anyways, I think I'm gonna do one more. Let me find it. Actually, didn't have to go far. I scrolled down and I read Petty Revenge on my mother-in-law, and I think I'm gonna read that one. Okay, Petty Revenge on my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is a manipulator. Shocking, right? At first it drove me crazy, but it isn't worth the fights with my husband. Now I just observe and let her run wild, just to amuse myself so I don't go insane. My mother-in-law makes all kinds of passive-aggressive comments. This story is just one example. However, I finally got my revenge moment after 10 years of taking her shit. Sorry about that. My little one, she's so fussy. This will probably be my last one because she doesn't understand a computer chair is not big enough for the both of us to sit at. Anyways, backstory. There hasn't been a single time in our marriage when my husband and I have been late to our family dinner reservation. Yet every time we attend a dinner with my mother-in-law, she makes a comment about tardiness. Jeez. Tardiness. When I was expected to be somewhere for my ex's mom. She thought I could do it in lightning speed. And that's when I was running errands for the whole family. And if I wasn't somewhere at a certain time, I'd get yelled at. If I got lost, because I got lost a lot. So she would say I was taking the scenic route or messing around somehow, trying to juggle 3 kids and, grocery shopping while transporting them everywhere I went. And somehow, being on time was so headstrong for her. Being on time was such an issue for her, not realizing that I was trying my best to go as fast as I could, no matter the situation. Anyway, why? Who knows? But it's become a big issue for me, to the point I didn't go to family Christmas last year. I think my mouse died. Okay, I guess I'll just use a keyboard. I gotta scroll all the way up. I don't even know how I got all the way down to the bottom of the page. My B-Day is also during Christmas. In-laws offered to take us to dinner. I didn't want to go. Husband was bummed, so I accepted for him. I psyched myself up that day, thinking surely they wouldn't make the "you're late" comments on my B-Day. I was right. They didn't. The waitress did it for them. As I sat down at the table, the waitress came by and said, "You made it on time." I immediately looked at my mother-in-law and said, "Yep, we're actually always on time. They're just old and like to be 30 minutes early to everything." Man, if I did that in front of my mother-in-law, I would have had my ASS handed to me. Not in front of everybody, but, in the shadows, she would have tried somehow to get back at me for that. Thinking that would shut down the comments for good. Nope. Flash forward to last week. We went to family dinner for my nephew's birthday. It was storming, so I told my husband we should leave an hour early, even though the drive is typically 25 minutes. That way we would be first and she wouldn't be able to say anything. My sweet husband is a moron, though. and told her we are leaving early for the weather. Not only did she beat us there, she told the rest of the family to leave early, and they all live 7 to 10 minutes away. So we arrive at 5:10 for a 5:30 reservation, and sure as shit, everyone is seated already. However, they didn't know I could see them. There was two-way glass in the lobby between the entry and the restaurant. My husband had dropped me off at the door because the rain was, so instead of walking inside, I sat at the entry on a bench and waited. As I was waiting, I could see her obsessively looking at the front doors. Then she got up and walked to the lobby, realized there were two-way mirrors, and started pressing her face against the glass so she could see outside. She looked insane doing it, and I loved every moment. Oh yeah. Some of the glass panes were to the exterior, and the other side, where I was, were to the entryway where I was sitting on the bench. So as she made her way down the row of glass, I knew she would eventually see me. She did, but I didn't turn around. I just let her think I didn't notice. She jumped back a little when she saw me. I kept looking straight ahead. Then she burst through the double doors as if she was about to run outside to the parking lot. Being a terrible actress, she grabs the exterior door handle and full on fake stop, turns around and pretends to run into me. That moment, my husband walked through the doors and she got all excited. I let her think she pulled off her weird window watching expo, like I normally ignore her behavior. She shows up to the table and told me where to sit. That way my nephew could be next to my husband, and I would be at the end of the table across from her. As I sat down, my father-in-law said, "Took you long enough. Did you walk here?" To which I replied, "No, actually. We left an hour early so we could be here on time, just like every other time. Yet somehow there's always comments about us being late. What's up with that? If you want us to get here at 5, then make the reservation for 5. The table went silent. Man, if only I had the guts to talk back like this when I was in that type of situation, I would have ate it up. Mother-in-law goes, "It's just his way. He doesn't mean anything by it." I said, "Well, it's usually you that makes the comments if I'm being honest." She goes, "Honey, you know, I don't care when y'all get here. We're just so grateful you made it." I roll city. I replied, "Are you sure? Because I watched you press your face against every piece of the glass in the lobby trying to spot us in the parking lot. Where were you going when you were heading outside? Did you need something from your car or what? Because you never went back, and I found that odd. I also found it strange that you saw me through the glass and pretended to run into me. Where were you going?" "Sorry, what were you doing?" She said nothing in response and changed the subject. Then I ordered a glass of wine and stewed in my pettiness. I hope they never invite me to anything ever again. Yeah, I wish I had the guts. And the one time I did have the guts to say, "No, I don't feel like going to your house." Oh my God. I never heard the end of that story. And I'm pretty sure if I still talked to my ex's mom, she still would not let me live that down because, yeah, entitled mother-in-laws. Okay, anyway, that's what I'm going to do today since I didn't record anything this week. And I hope you guys enjoy it. But I don't know if I want to do it again. I might do it again. It all depends. It's always hard doing an outro to videos. Anyway, next week might be normal. If I remember to record, if I have time to record. But yeah, I hope you're having a good night, a good afternoon, or a good day wherever you're at. And Malachi, know that mommy does love you.